Is next, who she did a presentation on the chat, I think, a couple of BettaKultcha presentations, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. So let's have a big round of applause, please, for Beckie Senior.
Yeah, ready? So I'm very sorry to have to say that I'm sick of Saturday Night TV, even though it did bring us Girls Aloud. But things like The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, now The Voice, we all know there's only one TV talent show out there that is worth watching, and it only happens once every single year. That is the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, originally it was called the Eurovision Grand Prix, with the final bit dropped later on. The first one was in 1956 in Switzerland, and with home advantage, Switzerland brought it home. So the first contest started out with about 6 countries who entered, and these days it's just absolutely massive. It was a huge feat of technical engineering to link up all the countries in the European Broadcast Union, not the European Union, not the European Economic Union, the European Broadcast Union, and that's, if you can receive that, you can enter. So these days, that's why over 40 countries enter the Eurovision Song Contest every year. So much so, there are so many countries that have to hold semi-finals now and able to get through. So the way that Eurovision is funded and takes part is that all the different countries choose their entrants. So in the UK, the BBC, in the last couple of years, have chosen who goes through. In other countries like the Melodifestivalen in Sweden, they have an X Factor style final where all the different parts of the country vote different people through. The way that Eurovision is funded is there's a big 5 of these countries that fund it, along with the random country, which is the previous year's winner, and that becomes the host nation. So it costs you an arm and a leg, so people like Ireland don't want to win. So Eurovision costs the BBC £283,000 every year to enter. That's a bargain. The entire show itself costs the same as 21 seconds of a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which I think is an absolutely brilliant payoff, really, for what you get. Eurovision wouldn't be Eurovision in the UK without having Terry Wogan and Graham Norton, and of course hosting your own Eurovision party with crazy foods from countries you didn't even know existed. So, famous entries to Eurovision which you may know obviously include things like ABBA, who won in Brighton in 1974. You've also got Lulu, who won with Boom Bang a Bang in a year where 4 countries won. And also you've got Cliff Richard there, who did Celebration. He actually came second, didn't win, poor Sir Cliff. Other people you may not be as familiar with who have entered Eurovision: Celine Dion for Switzerland in 1988. Olivia Newton-John for us against ABBA in 1974. You do not have to come from the country that you're representing in Eurovision. There are countries like Malta say that you do, and Dita Von Teester. Also, you've got the crazy element to Eurovision. So you've got things like Dustin the Turkey, who entered for Ireland, Scooch, who the technical term is shit out, and then you've got some French entries down the right-hand side there. So the bottom right one, outfits by Jean-Paul Gaultier. He did them for them this year as well. We've also got the Russian Grannies, who came second this year, Jedward, who've entered for Ireland twice now, Moldovans 2011, Cone Hats and Unicycles, and transvestites from the Ukraine there, who came second. So big variety in what can get you up there. Ireland have come in first the most number of times with 7 wins, 5 of those in the 70s alone, bankrupt. You've got the UK, Luxembourg, France and Sweden, who've all come 5 times, won 5 times. The UK clocks up the most second up places with 15. What wins Eurovision? Who knows? It can be violinists, transvestites, cavemen, lesbians, or Lord of the Rings rejects. It's a wide open playing field of what can win the Eurovision Song Contest. Voting is ridiculously complicated these days, but it has been my lifelong dream. If Jim could have fixed it for me, I would give the votes for the United Kingdom. But I'm not a Saturday morning TV presenter, so I don't think that's ever going to happen. The way that voting works is that the jury actually vote on the Friday night before the contest, and then the public vote is done on the Saturday night across Europe. As we all know, this can cause massive rifts in the type of votes that come through for people. So you've got the voting blocks, you've got things like the Nordic countries all voting for each other, the ex-Russian countries all voting for each other, and small packs like Greece and Cyprus, UK and Ireland, Belgium and Holland. It's to be expected, they all like each other's music. If you can't get enough of Eurovision one night a year, there's the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, I'm not making these up, and there's the Eurovision Dance Contest, sod Strictly, onto Eurovision. And as for me, I honestly cannot get enough of Eurovision. I just love it. This is me last year in Dusseldorf with a lovely young lady, and it's just absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend it to anyone. And as a way of choosing where you're going to go on your holidays next, why not let the rest of Europe vote for it for you? It just makes sense. So if anyone's got any travel tips for Sweden, that's where I'm off. On May the 18th, I believe, next year. So tweet me and let me know some good places to stay. Thank you.